Okay, so here's the first video in my tutorial based around UVing. In this video I'll be talking about how to set up your scene ready for pretty much UV mapping and how to check your model and how to get ready for the actual UV mapping stage. Firstly I just want to talk about how I got to this stage of the model. Pretty much this was not what I started with Maya. The shape was a lot different, so I can show you what I started with in Maya. So I modelled this in Maya quite quickly. It only took me about a day just to quickly get the shape, but obviously as you can see the difference in the silhouettes and stuff, there was a big difference, and the development of how the creature looked with purely just its shape. But I always start in Maya. Purely gives you, it's good practice, because at the end of the day you're going to have to model in Maya no matter what project you do. So it's always good practice to get a nice clean topology. This one was quite quick, and I wasn't really aiming for animation ready mesh, but it developed into this creature, which looks pretty cool, and then it developed into the high poly stage, which is the one that has been rigged and is the one that we've been using for animation. So I just wanted to quickly show you the development process, how I do things. I start off simply in Maya, get a general shape, it gives people something to work from, so the animators can start thinking how it moves, the rigger can start placing things because they won't change too much. And then I move into the stage where I can really start to refine the shape. So at this point I was actually in ZBrush refining it, and then once I'm done in ZBrush you can see how I modelled in some of the muscles along his arm, some of the neck muscles, and how I really refined the shape and the difference in poly counts. This was 6,000, this one was 14,000. So you can see the difference in stages. Maybe this model was a bit too high poly, but for what we wanted to do, we wanted to get some muscles in. So this one actually powered this model in animation. So yeah, I just wanted to give you a quick show of the progress and things. But for this project, I thought this model was just wasn't really kind of a nice model to work with. I know it's the same typology as this one, but I thought this model was a lot nicer, and this one was way too complex for something that I wanted to do, not a basic understanding, but just a quick, well, a tutorial based around just UV mapping, and this one was quite a complex model to do. So I thought we'll stick to this model. And it's quite a nice model to work with. There's some areas around the arms that might need a bit more work if I was going to work into this model again, but again, I've got my finished model done here. And first thing I want to talk about is just labeling things. So this one's named up the base mesh when I was organizing the tutorial file, but if you go to Windows Outliner, you can see each mesh is still in its own place. Base mesh, left eye, and then I've got the teeth. I didn't name each individual teeth, even though I could have, but I made them. But I always put things in their own groups, and even with the others I have. So I think general practice, label your stuff, because definitely in the industry you have people, well, chances are if you're starting off as a modeler, your first job will be naming everything, making sure it's nice and organized. Second point I want to talk about is cleaning your mesh. So firstly, I'm going to quickly check how you can do this. So if you go on Mesh Cleanup and you click on this, here you see it has a little box, and here you can go select matching polygons. So this will pretty much select anything that has more than 4 sides. So if I click Clean Up, I'll have a look to see if any, and as you can see, there was a mistake I put here earlier, purely to show this. It will select anything that has bad UVs. So this we don't want. We want everything to be polygons. So what we do is go on this, select them. You can hold down Shift and hold down right click and go Delete Edge, or you could do that. Go on Edit Mesh, and delete edge vertex there. Sorry, that took a while because I've never done that one like that before, but I thought I'd show you because my normal practice is quite hotkeys. I don't think I ever go up these bars. If you hold down spacebar you get all your bars here, or if you hold down Shift you get other options. So Sorry about the little pause there, I was still working out myself. But yeah, so this is pretty much a cleaned mesh. You can check things with triangles, but if you're modding you should really be able to notice that anyway. So first thing I want to do is give it a new Lambert, because Lambert 1 is the worst Lambert to have anything on. Because if you import anything else, Lambert 1 will always be duplicated and things can cause problems. So first thing you always do, which I'll show you two ways here, is firstly you hold down your right mouse button and go down and go assign favorite material. This is a new name for it in 2011. Just go on Lambert, and here you get your new Lambert. And so you can go on Lambert 1 and we'll just put creature UV. For this project I'm going to quote creature UV, a spacebar. And then if you click on this little icon around here and go on to checker. Now nothing shows up at the moment, or it might on your screen, but if you press 6, things do happen. Okay, so firstly that shows that your UV is bad, mostly because it's the UVs haven't been laid out yet, so the chances are your mesh will probably look rough and horrible. Another good practice is to check if your mesh is got the normals all facing the right direction. I have checked this mesh already, but I will show you how you can do it. So if you go on display, polygons, you face normals. Okay, it's quite confusing this, but if you ever look, all of them are pointing outwards. And if I show you what a bad face normal would do, which is when you go on, you click a face, go on normals, reverse. Now you see that it's already created a border around that edge because it's telling me these normals are not facing the right direction. If you press 3 and go on that, you can see the difference. The face normals are facing differently now, so pretty much when you texture this face is now facing the wrong way. I know when you texture it does it on both sides anyway, but it's just a bad thing to do. And the way you can fix this, if any of your meshes have this, is click on the faces, or face in this case, go on normals, reverse, and it will put it back where it was. So yeah, so this mesh I didn't really do anything that would cause problems like that. So if you go and click on your mesh or anything, you go on display, polygons, face normals. Sorry. And so yeah, that was, I just want to show you a few little techniques like that. So we've already got our checker back. So if you press 6, you get your pretty much your texture. So 5 is just gives you basic Lambert. 6 gives you your pretty much your textures, and 7 gives you lighting. So if I put a light in the scene now, it will change. But I use it for, you get to see what your creature looks like. So this creature was meant to be very evil, and pretty much from the silhouette I kind of captured that. But we're going to stay in 6 for now. So the first thing I want to do is quickly go on panels, save layouts, and you go down to perspective and UV texture editor. So here is pretty much the screen is best for this, I would say, in my point of view. And the first thing you want to do is click on your mesh and just click on this display image on and off option, because it gets rid of that checkered thing that we don't really need. Okay, now you can see UVs are all over the place. So this is pretty much what most models might start off like, maybe a square or polygon, or just a square, a plane, one of the basic polygon things they give you. It would probably give you a okay UV layout, but this is started from a plane, so this has been plane upon plane upon plane, going crazy. So the first thing I want to do is apply a basic projection, which is just to bring everything together. And some people do it all different ways, but what I do is I pick a side that shows most of the mesh and most of what I want to do, because at the end of the day I will be cutting this up into different bits, but that's in the next lesson. So this first thing, the last thing I want to do in this project is go and create UVs, planar mapping, and go on the little icon on the side. And so now I'm going to pick where I want to do it, and I think for this one, I think I'm going to do X. So you click on X, so it's going to pretty much project all your UVs from this angle. So it will take a picture as such and lay them out as best it can. But it's not really meant for the UV, it's just to bring everything together. So as you can see already, the UVs have gone into this uniform. Well, more neater mesh now, but it's nowhere near a good UV. But it's, instead of having what we had, which was this, which has been really hard to break down, you've now got something where you can actually work from. So this was pretty much the last thing I wanted to show in this pretty much introduction lesson, because from the next lesson we're going to start breaking this mesh up using other tools to get what we want. So the last thing I want us to do is go File, Save Scene As, and save the scene as Introduction. Well, for me. Okay, so until next time, enjoy.